We're told this isn't a competition, but any amateur cyclist will tell you that every ride is a race. And this man today won the race. Congratulations, Jamie Standen. You were the first finisher in the 100 miles. How was it?
It was good, but hard, as 100 miles always is.
And just how difficult was it? What was it about the route that made it so difficult?
I suppose here is the wind. There's always a constant headwind, so you're battling that. And then there is hills. People think Norfolk's flat, but we do have a few little hills. And Peter decided to put those in towards the end at 80 miles. So that was a test of everything then, really, yeah.
And Jimmy, you told me that you woke up this morning not knowing if you were going to do the 50 miles or 100 miles, and you end up the fastest man of the day. That's fantastic.
It's a great day, and that's what I said to myself, is I'd wake up and see how I felt, and obviously it's all paid off because I decided to do the 100 and rode it the fastest, so that's good.
And you tell me you've only just turned 50, so double celebration for you today then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
And how do you find the festival then? Because it's for cyclists, but it's also for families. How have you found it?
I've found it great because obviously I've been part of this festival since Peter put it together, so I've seen it grow, and it's what cycling should be about. It's about riding your bike, enjoying yourself, and then coming in and relaxing and having a beer, and that's what I think it's all about.
And you've certainly earned that today. What's your next big challenge, Jimmy? Are we looking at a pro contract next? What's your cycling future hold in store?
Just to sign me up, I'm willing to give it a go. Don't think I'll do that well, but I just keep on riding. I've got another big race towards the end of the year on a mountain bike that I want to do well at, so that's my next goal.
Jimmy, congratulations. Enjoy your beer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I have been speaking to some interesting people today, but I would say the lady next to me tops them all. Kaiser Thailand is trying to ride more miles than any woman has ever done in a single year. Kaiser, first of all, why?
I guess I read about Billy Fleming, who set the record in 1938, and it just fascinated me. And I'd read about the men's record, which is a ridiculous number of miles, and then I realised that the women's one was a lot more achievable, and I just couldn't get it out of my head when I read about it. And a few months later, I decided to have a go.
And so you say that the original record, or the current record rather, is set in 1938. How many miles or kilometres is that? What is your target to beat?
The record is 29,603.
29, you say that so quickly that it's almost easy to lose it. 29,603 miles.
Yes.
In a single year.
Yes.
And at the moment, what are you on target, would you hope, to be able to cycle?
Well, Guinness have set the record to beat at 31,000, so it's 50,000 kilometres. So that's my target. I'm wanting, obviously, to do a bit more than that to try and make it a little bit, more unreachable, although it still is reachable. But so I'll try my best to push it up as much as I can. But
so I understand you're on day 121 just now. Yeah. How many miles, kilometres have you cycled so far this year?
I'm just over 10,000 miles currently. So I think...
So a fifth of the way there.
Yeah, I always have to ask my mum how many miles I've done, and she'll reel it off. But yeah, I know I've gone past the 10,000 mile mark because I had 2 scones to celebrate, so...
Well, that's living it up. You say you have to ask your mum. Your mum has been instrumental in this journey so far, hasn't she? What's she been doing to try to help you break this world record?
She basically looks after me. So she cooks me dinner, she makes my breakfast, she looks after my dog, she tows the caravan, she washes my clothes. Yeah, she's superb. Yeah.
And what does the practicality of this involve? You're trying to cycle over 50,000 kilometres this year. Are you doing different routes? Are you cycling the same old route over and over again? What does the reality of it look like?
Depends. I mean, to start with, the weather was pretty bad, wind-wise. I mean, the temperatures in January were decent, but there was a lot of wind, so we stayed quite local to home, which is Nottingham. So I know just about every pothole in Nottinghamshire and Lincolnshire. So
You could get a job at the council after this, helping repair the roads.
I'm thinking about it. I never want to see them again. I never want to see the potholes again. So yeah. So the reality is that I do a lot of routes the same, but I've also been up to Yorkshire and a bit here in Norfolk, and I've been down to Essex and Worcestershire, I think, as well. So yeah, I've been trying to get around a little bit, but it's difficult when the wind's blowing one way and you need to be going that way, ideally. So
what's your average number of miles per day then? What are you cycling generally on a daily basis?
I'm up to about 85 miles average now at day 121. I was doing a little bit more than that, but then my legs just gave out and decided they weren't going to cooperate at all. So I had to cut the mileage down a bit and then try and recover the legs, which, touch wood, they seem to be cooperating a bit more now. So I've increased the mileage now, and I think I'm back up to about 85. I would have liked to have been at 100, but you can't push it because you're just gonna ruin it for yourself. So yeah, I've had to cut it down, but I'm still good for the record.
Kaisa, have you ever attempted anything like this before? Because to most mere mortals, this would seem absolutely unreachable, unattainable, unthinkable. What is it about you that has made you think, yep, that's a dream I'm going to go for, that's a goal I'm going to set?
Crikey, that's a difficult question. I don't know.
Have you done anything like this before?
No, I mean I started doing triathlon about 3 years ago. So I've done a couple of Ironman distance triathlons, and you know the sense of satisfaction that I got from that. Maybe that's what pushed me into doing this. But I think I just like to try stuff. So if I fail, then I fail. If I don't, then that's great. But I think you can't be afraid of failure doing this at all. Because there's a high risk that you will get injured or something will happen that you won't manage it. But I had to try, otherwise I would have just been regretting it for a long time, I think.
I love it. And how did you find the ride today then?
I did the 50 loop this morning, which was absolutely wonderful. And yeah, people have been really friendly. It's a great route. Unfortunately, I didn't do the afternoon one because it's a little bit too hilly. It would have taken me until probably 9 o'clock this evening because my pace is not exactly speedy. So yeah, but I've done the route this morning. It was great. Yeah.
So that's a good point, actually. Do you have to try to pace yourself in a certain way in terms of the difficulty of the route? Do you have to keep it as flat or as easy as possible to make sure that you have it in the legs to be able to do those 85 odd miles every day?
Yeah, I try and keep it as flat as possible, but also then you've got the wind to deal with. So I tend to look for a route that's quite sheltered. So yeah, here is quite nice because it's not too hilly, and it's not too flat, and there's also a lot of hedges. And now they've got leaves on there; it's even better. So, but sometimes, I mean, you can have a really nice flat route, but the wind's in your face the entire time, and then it's just as bad as going up a hill. So, and I just try and keep it at one constant effort. So I don't push myself. I mean, sometimes I have to get up a hill or something like that, but I try and keep the effort steady so that I don't burn myself out. So it's pacing is key, really.
As you say, pacing is key, so I presume that you've maybe mapped out the 12 months of 2016 as to how much you need to be doing to reach your target. Are you on your target at the moment, and what are you looking at riding in the year going by the first few months?
To be honest, I'm trying not to map it out too much because I might not achieve what I've mapped out, because initially I set myself a 100-mile-a-day target, and then when I realised I wasn't going to do that, then there was quite a kind of psychological process I had to go through in order to change those goalposts and move it back a bit. So now I'm going by how much can I do in a day. So I tend to start between 7 and 6:30 in the morning and then finish at between 5 and 6 and try and do as many miles within that as I can. So that's kind of the tactic that I'm going with.
So I presume the next milestone then, we've had 10,000 miles, the next milestone would be 20,000 miles. You celebrated with 2 scones with your first 10,000 miles. How are you going to celebrate 20,000 miles? Give me something more rock and roll.
4 scones? I'm not sure how many scones I'll get up to by the end of the year.
Maybe throw a waffle in there or something.
Yes, absolutely. I'm all for waffles.
There we go. We might build up to 4 scones and a waffle. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, but also the time to ride with everyone here. It's been fantastic learning of your journey, and I can only wish you the very, very best of luck. Will you be here next year?
Yes, and I'm gonna do the whole weekend.
Excellent.
And I might do it, not at a snail's pace. We'll see.
Kaiser, thank you very much indeed. So for any of you who've been riding here this weekend, I'm sure it's been challenging enough to do any number of miles that you've decided to do, but just think, you may have been riding alongside someone who will become, we hope, a world record holder. What got you involved in Pedal Norfolk? How come you're here today?
Well, I'm local. I know Charlie really well. I know Peter really well. So I've been here from the outset. It's a great event, and I'll never miss it. So it's good.
Fantastic. And you've got a beer in your hand.
Yes.
You're looking like you're starting to relax.
Yes.
What's the plan for the rest of the day, and what's the plan for the rest of the weekend?
Massage straight away. Definitely a massage. My wife's in there massaging, so I should be going in there.
Excellent. Massage and a beer. That's how to spend a Saturday in the sun. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
So Charlie, this whole festival, you're not claiming credit for it, but I understand it's at least partly your idea. Talk me through the concept of Pedal Norfolk.
Well, it was mainly for the families. Peter and myself has done many etaps, many sort of dragon rides. At an older age, we'd go off for a weekend to Belgium to do a spring classic or something like that. We did Amstel Gold a couple of weekends ago. But we go off as blokes, and the whole point of it was that we leave our family and our wives at home while we go and have a great cycle and stuff like that. So the whole point of it was to put something together, using the lovely country roads around here. This is where we train, and get our families involved. So my son here has just ridden 52.5 miles, raised 750 for Walk for the Wounded, suffered on the last 10, and just had a sports massage by him.
Can I have a little word with you then? What's your name?
Zach.
Zach, congratulations! 50 miles. Is that the most you've ridden?
Yes.
And how did you find it?
Very hard.
What was the hardest bit, Zach?
The last 5 miles.
And why is that?
Because I just didn't think I was going to do it.
Congratulations. What was your time?
Don't know.
You finished. That's the only thing that matters. Are you enjoying the festival?
Yes.
And why did you want to ride as far as 50 miles? I'm only trying to do 20 miles tomorrow. I think you're very brave. Why did you want to do the 50 miles?
Well, because I have to do it for the Beacon Way at my school. So, and I really like war. So I really wanted to help people to get better.
And what age are you at?
10.
You're only 10, riding 50 miles. If there are any cycling agents in the crowd, I think they should be having a little look at Zach here. Maybe you could sign up as a pro rider in the future. What do you think?
Yeah.
Would you like to be a cyclist?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite?
Bradley Wiggins.
Oh, and have you had your picture taken over there with Bradley Wiggins?
No.
We'll have to see that next. Zach, congratulations. That's very good of you. Well done.
Thank you.
You must be very proud of your son, Charlie. That is really impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. That is why we're all here. This is why we, Team Cog and everybody at Holcomb's put it all together. It's taken 6 months of stuff behind the scenes that people don't see what goes on. Very late nights to get this all to work, all work like clockwork. And with the snow yesterday and everything else all going a bit peaked on, it's all turned out amazing.
So for anyone who's here, soaking up the sunshine, relaxing and enjoying it, and hasn't yet decided whether or not they're going to cycle, what would you say?
You've got to do something. Just do something. If a 9-10-year-old can get out there and do 52.5 miles, get off your backsides and come out and do some cycling.
There you go, shame us into it. Thank you very much, Charlie and Zach.
One thing tonight, we have got the tyre changing competition tonight. Anybody who was here last year to see the tyre changing, it's my idea, not Peter's, my idea. Tyre changing competition that will be held from in the 10 in the Marquee tonight. It is a right giggle.
And is it a prize for what, the fastest tyre change, or how do the rules of this very complicated game, I'm sure, work?
We had 26 explosions of tyres not being fitted properly last year. We've got some of the mechanics from SRAM, Fatbirds, Chelmer, all the different mechanics are there competing against the mortals around us. So yeah, come and watch this tonight, it'll be a right giggle.
Excellent, thank you very much indeed, enjoy your afternoon. Will, how did you find that?
Well, I freewheeled quite a lot of it because I follow some very good guys, and I was very grateful for it most of the way around.
That's a clever way to do it. You tailed onto the back of a fast group and then let them do the hard work, did you?
I think I had to hang in there, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it was great fun, great day, great spirit, wonderful occasion, and I'm very glad to be back home.
And it looks like you've been here, bought the t-shirt before. Is this your second, third time doing this?
It's my third time, but a few of the guys that come here go on biking tours, and I did Land's End to Giant Groats with them last year, so I'm trying to catch up, but I'm not quite getting there.
So what is it about cycling then, and this event in particular, that keeps you hooked?
It's not about cycling, it's about getting a bit fitter, it's about losing some weight, it's about having a bit of fun. I can't fix a bike, I can't claim to be a cyclist, but I have a pretty good crack doing it.
Well, I understand there's a wheel-changing, I can't even get it out, a wheel-changing competition in the Marquee tonight at 8 o'clock. You say you can't fix a bike, maybe you could learn there, what do you think?
I think if they've got 2.5 hours, which is my record for a puncher, and often I'm known to turn up with the wrong inner tube, then I might make it.
Excellent, well we'll maybe not start the clock for you then, will we?
I think we'll be here all night.
Thank you very much, Will. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Was that 100 miles, Pete?
It was 100 miles, yeah.
Was it 100 miles of agony, ecstasy? What was
It
it?
was pretty good most of the way, yeah. Last 10 miles were hard enough. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
So what prompted you to take on the challenge rather of 100 miles? That's quite a chunk of riding.
This is the 4th year I've been here, so there's loads of friends. This man here is the main man, Charlie, so yeah, we always come up, always do 100 miles. Yeah.
And what is it about this festival in particular that keeps you coming back then? 4 years, you must like it.
I think it's got a bit of everything, you know, the whole family love it. My daughter loves it, my wife loves it when the weather's good. Yeah, it's just a really, it's got lots of things going on for everyone.
And do they go out riding as well, or do they enjoy the fun from back here?
Yeah, Evie's going to ride this year. She's learned to ride now, so she'll be out tomorrow. We'll try and do 20 tomorrow. Yeah.
Excellent, I'll see you in that 20
All
miler.
right.
Thank
Cheers.
you very much.
Thanks a lot.
I'm now going to do an interview to the interviewer about some of the celebrities she's interviewed, which is pretty impressive. If you didn't know all is who she does and who she interviews on Sky, then listen to this. So who out of Wiggins, Cavendish, Froome, David Miller, who is the most difficult to interview, Ola?
Oh no, that's a really horrible question. They're all lovely to interview if you get them in the right mood. They can be difficult at the end of a race though. Mark Cavendish, you don't want to go anywhere near him after a time trial or a sprint that he hasn't won, so you just have to know when to not approach them.
I'll just go start riding down there.
Wow. How cool is that, eh? That's really cool. So you interviewed Wiggo when he finished his 54.7 kilometres an hour after his hour record. What was that like?
Yeah, that was an amazing atmosphere. That was our first time back in the velodrome actually since the London Olympics, and the atmosphere inside that velodrome is incredible, the London Olympic velodrome. And when Wiggins broke that record, when Wiggins wins, he's the best person in the world to interview because he's very gracious and very generous with his time and his words. And on a day like that, when he had broken the hour record, he was just ecstatic. So we were interviewing him live on Sky Sports, but also on the UCI World feed, so it was being streamed around the world.
How many people were watching that, do you think, at that time?
A lot, I think, actually. I think we didn't get any figures, but given that it was live streaming, I think a few million possibly, so bit of pressure.
Let's save more information till later on tonight. I mean, there's just so much detail and so much stuff to talk about. Thanks, Orla.
You're very good at this, Charlie. You'll be taking my job next. They've got a very good time where you didn't really do the 100 miles after all. What was it?
We actually did a bit extra. We took an accidental detour.
Oh dear.
And there's an extra 7 on there. So.
An extra 7, 107 miles in the end.
So we're just happy to have made it.
Happy to be alive more than anything. Just pleased to be back and not dead.
Yeah, it's always a bonus on a Saturday afternoon to be alive.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
How was it?
Horrendous. No, it's really good. Really good. Most of it was really good. The extra 7 was not needed, really. I think we proved very little, other than we're idiots on that. But yeah, 100 sounds like a nice number next time, I think.
It sounds like a nice round number,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Are you a keen cyclist then, or how did you get into this?
Yeah, fairly keen. Been doing it for years, and we just fancied doing your first 100, didn't we?
Yeah.
And yeah, really enjoyed it. It's a good day.
Your first 100 miles, is that right?
Yes.
107.
107.
100
Yeah.
miles plus.
Yeah,
Would you do it again?
I wouldn't do the 7. I'm quite resentful of the 7. You can probably guess. But you said it was like 60 is like 100, and that's completely wrong. So
Did I?
yeah, you said if you can do 60, you can do 100.
I think if you believed
Yeah.
that, then maybe that's your
Well,
fault.
what are friends for? You know, you've got to go with them, haven't you? So yeah, pleased to be back alive.
And you'll do it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll do it again?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent, gentlemen.
Thank
Thank you
you
very much.
very
Well done.
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks.